What's up, good people? What's up, good people? It's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. I know. Y'all, as Vonell Jordan said on the Martin episode, and that was Mr. Tommy Davidson himself. Did you miss me? I know I was supposed to be on this morning, but I had to do my for those that aren't familiar, my family, we have a food pantry and we do deliveries every Friday for students and families in the community here in Baltimore. It is the McKenzie Pantry Foundation that we deliver foods for underserved communities, underserved students, and members of the community every Friday. Now, I don't go out every Friday, but today was my Friday to go out with my mama, and we delivered the food packages, non-perishable items to the students and the community members as well. So it was our day to do that. So I had to go out and do that this morning. So that's why I'm here right now. And then right after that, I had a mastermind strategy session with my homies, Donald Morton of Reman, of which I am the COO. So we had a mastermind session with Coach Walter Sellers, the coach Walter Sellers, and the Butterfly Effect. He was actually did the session with Coach Sellers today, which was really, really cool. And we had one of our other brothers, Bushi, who was in on the mastermind. Absolutely phenomenal session. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a leader, you should be a part of a mastermind. You owe it to yourself to be around like-minded individuals that you can talk with, that you can run ideas past, that they can run ideas past you. Have some accountability partners for what it is that you say and who it is that you say you want to be and going to be. And that's what we did today. We had a great session with the beginning of the second quarter. So it was vitally important that we had this meetup today. And so I had my meetings afterwards, but I'm now actually able to come and talk. So y'all know I'm gonna get it in. It's Finish Strong Friday right here in the Brand U Suite. Y'all know that's what we do. I don't miss days. I don't miss no days because we show up. That's what we do in the Brand U Suite. We show up. And it's Friday, so it's even more imperative that we finish strong. I want you to finish strong Friday. So whatever it was that you didn't get done earlier today, you got a couple hours to get it done, to make sure that you get done what needs to get done, whatever it is, whether it's a workout, whether it's a phone call, whether it's email, whether it's a contract, close that deal. That's what I need you all to do today. We're going to finish strong on this first Friday of April in 2024. Y'all know what we've been doing all this week. We've been talking about the politics of entrepreneurship. The politics of entrepreneurship. We've been dealing with the different ways in which politics impacts entrepreneurship and the ways in which entrepreneurship impacts politics, because there is a connection between the two. If you're an entrepreneur, you got to be plugged in to the politics, to the government of your local area. And I'm not talking on the federal level, on the big level, on the national level. I'm talking right there locally in the community that you are part of. You should know who your council person is. You should know who your mayor is. You should know who your whoever it is, your local delegates are, who your senators are, who your state senators are. You should even know who your governor is, because being an entrepreneur, there are programs that your governor may have that you can take advantage of. But if you don't know and you aren't connected to them, then you wind up losing out, I should say. And so we talked about policy impact on entrepreneurial climate, what that looks like. We talked about government support for entrepreneurship. We've talked about lobbying and advocacy. It's so important that you advocate for what it is that you need, what it is that you want for your community. We've talked about public and private partnerships and the importance of those with government and partnering with government, making sure that you that they are aware of who you are and the great things that you're doing, both you being in the private sector and then them being in the public sector, and how they should mesh or fuse with one another. So today, real quick, because I'm not going to be long, y'all, we want to talk about globalization and diplomacy. Globalization and diplomacy. And here it is. Entrepreneurship is increasingly interconnected with global markets, trade agreements, and geopolitical dynamics. Political decisions related to trade policy, tariffs, and diplomatic relations can have a profound implications for entrepreneurs engaged in international business activities. Entrepreneurial ventures must navigate geopolitical risk, comply with foreign regulations, and adapt to changing trade environments influenced by political developments around the world. So you want to make sure that you have an understanding. If you are a entrepreneur that is seeking to be more than just local, having a local presence and a national presence, but having a global presence, you must be aware of laws, not only that where you are, but the laws that govern the other countries that you are seeking to be a part of. Last year in September, I had the honor and privilege. Can y'all see that? I had the honor and privilege. I'm going to stand up a little bit so y'all can see that. I am a Christian business owner, Kenya. I had the honor and pleasure of going to Kenya, specifically Kihansha, Kenya, with the CBO, which is the Christian Business Owners Organization, and it's an organization of entrepreneur and Christian entrepreneurs who are unashamedly on a mission to do business for the kingdom with each other and with the global collective. We went to Kenya, the CBO summit, which is held every year, by Miss Bernice Lohman of Lohman Creative Services. Her and her partner in Kenya, Kihansha, the great pastor, the great Pastor Thomas, and it was phenomenal to be one of the team members that went to Kihansha, Kenya, for mission purposes, but also for business purposes. And so when we went there to Kenya, to Kihansha, there were certain laws and regulations that we had to abide by. We had to have our passport. We had to have our your passport and our I forgot the name right now, y'all. Can't believe it. And the tip of my tongue, but I'll think of it. We had to have, in order to be able to even get into Kenya. You couldn't get in without those two pieces of information. Your passport, and then also your papers, papers showing that you can legally come into Kenya. So there are laws, and Kenya has laws that we had to abide by in order for us to be able to get there, to go there. We had to get shots. And then even once we were there, there were certain ways in which they operate that we don't operate at here in the United States. Theirs is different. We went there, we talked to pastors, leaders, entrepreneurs that were there on the continent. Phenomenal time. We got to network with those that were in business in another country. And so the dynamics are different there, just like for them, the dynamics are different for them doing business with us here. So you have to have, if you're going to do business with with others in other countries, you have to have a global perspective. You have to be aware of whatever country that you're going, that the people are from, that you're doing business in. You have to be aware of their laws. You've got to do your research. You've got to have that perspective, and knowing what the geopolitical climate is, what it takes to establish a partnership, what that looks like, what their private and public partnerships looks like, what they advocate for, what the landscaping is, all of those things were part of what we did even before we got there. And then once we got there, we were able to see firsthand their marketplace. We got to visit their marketplace, and it was a phenomenal opportunity for us to be able to be engaged in global economics. And I thank Bernice for including me and the other teammates. And one of our teammates, Pastor Connie, did a post today of the footage that Bernice put together of us over there. And it just warms my heart every time I think of that visit. I think of the people that I met there. They have some of the just prettiest smiles, and I'm talking to everybody. I was just like, everybody got a pretty smile. Everybody is always smiling, loving, warm, just embracing of us. It was the most wonderful time that I have ever had, and this was my first time traveling overseas. So to be able to go home and to go to the homeland, and to visit Kenya and specifically Kihancha, and the whole visit was very well put together, structured. The summit was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the people were just so engaged. They were so hungry for the expertise that was poured out that day and poured into them all week. So I'm forever thankful and grateful for that. And so I had to be, from a global perspective, I had, and diplomacy, I had to be prepared for that. This was the first place I'd gone to where I needed an interpreter to do a presentation. I did my presentation with an interpreter so that they could understand, because they spoke, there in Kihancha, they speak Swahili. So they didn't speak English. A lot of them, I could say some did speak English. The interpreter, of course, spoke English, but a lot of them that were there didn't speak English. So therefore, we had to have a translator for what it was that we were there to be able to teach. So if you're going to have a global mindset, global economics, you got to understand what it is that you need to do. You've got to be able to think, what are the things that I'm going to need if I'm going to do business globally? I have one of my business associates, I love her to pieces, LaTanya Moore. She is all over the place, y'all, everywhere, doing this very thing, global economics. And it's huge. When you think on that level, you expand your ecosystem, as I always talk about. Y'all know I talk about your business ecosystem. And having a global mindset allows you to have that. Now, don't think that it's going to happen overnight. It's something that you have to work at and work on in order for you to be able to be successful at it. But think about that. Think local, national, and global. Those are the three levels as an entrepreneur that you should be thinking about. And on each level, there's different there's different dynamics that have to deal with politics. So you have to know how to operate on each level from a political standpoint. From a local standpoint, you got to know this politics. On a national standpoint, you got to know the politics. And on a from a global standpoint, you've got to know the politics of entrepreneurship. It's important for you to be able to do that in order, if you're going to be successful. These connections that I've talked about, these 5 connections here that I've talked about, they underscore the intricate relationship between entrepreneur and politics. Hopefully, I've highlighted the importance of understanding political dynamics for you as an entrepreneur to be successful and to advocate for policies that are conducive to a vibrant startup ecosystem. That's what you are doing as an entrepreneur when you have an understanding, or you begin to understand the politics of entrepreneurship. How do you navigate politically through your industry? How do you navigate politically within your community, making the politicians aware of the needs of your community? As an entrepreneur, you should never be silent. You should never be quiet within your community about the needs of your community. And even from a global perspective, when we went to Kihansha, there was a global need that I saw there and that we talked about. We talked about where do we go from here. It wasn't just about the summit being there for that 9 days that we were there, and that's it. No, it's bigger than that. It's what can we do from a global perspective, the Christian Business Owners Organization. What can we do on a partnership level, on an advocacy level, on a support level, and then on a climate and impact level, in order to be able to bring a better, stronger business ecosystem, entrepreneurship ecosystem to Kihansha and to us. Because the better we are, the better we can make them, that we can instill in them to make them better. That was what I came away from. Now, we're going to the CBO, because that's what it is. The CBO Summit is going to be in London this year, London, England, in September 21st. And if you're able to go, absolutely, that you need to connect with Bernice Lohman so that you can go and be a part of this, because it is going to be off the chain, to say the least. Or if you want to be able to, I don't know if it's going to be streaming. I'm not going to put that out there, but where you'll be able to see it as well. But to join actually the CBO, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a Christian entrepreneur, you certainly for sure want to join the Christian Business Owners, and you can go right online in Facebook, and Instagram, I believe too. I don't know if it's on if it's on LinkedIn or not, but at least I know Facebook and Instagram for sure. Just go click the like button, join, I should say, not click the like button, but click to join, join a movement. The Christian Business Owners Summit, the Christian Business Owners Organization is a movement. And we are about doing business the right way for the kingdom. And so the more Christians that we have, that want to join and want to expand, everybody becomes a part of a global ecosystem. And so if you're looking to be able to be a part of a global ecosystem, then the CBO is certainly somewhere that you want to be a part of. It is essential. If you're going to if you have the kind of business that translates globally, and has and want to be able to grow from that perspective, then you certainly want to make sure that you understand the politics of entrepreneurship, that you know what it means, know what it's going to take, because it's not easy. Especially when you think about doing business globally. I have a client that is from Kihansha, and got the opportunity to meet him while I was there. It was absolutely beautiful, wonderful to see the great things that he did. Got to visit, stay with his family, and everything like that. It was absolutely phenomenal for me. And I will never forget it. I could be 105 years old and halfway senile, but I will remember. I will remember my trip to Kihansha, Kenya, and how embracing they were of us, and how loving they were of us. So when you think about the politics of entrepreneurship. Think about a global perspective and ask yourself, do I want my business to grow globally? What does that look like on the global stage? Can I handle it? Because it's not meant for every business to be have a global presence. But you have to decide that. You have to sit with your business, and that's your homework. Sit with your business this weekend as you have some fun. And I want you to think about, is my business a business that I want to take to the global stage? And then what does that look like? Is that a goal for you for 2024? Is that a goal for you for 2025? Is that a goal for you for 2026 to be on the global stage when it comes to entrepreneurship? Do you want to have a global business ecosystem? And if you do, how do you build it? How do you connect with those from a global perspective? It is the internet has made doing business globally more doable, feasible, and logical in this day and time. You could literally be here and do business wherever it is that you are, and do business across the world. Across the world. There are people that do that right now. They do business across the world without even leaving their home. I'm not saying it's going to be that would be easy or anything like that, because like I said, you got to understand the laws of the country that you're of the country of the people that you're dealing with. You got to know their laws, what it is how it's going to impact what it is that you do and how it is that you do business with them. So I want you to consider those things this weekend. I want you to think about that. Is my business, do I want my business to be on a global platform? And then what does that look like? If it does. That's the homework. I want you to have some fun this weekend. Do something fun. The ladies' NCAA Final Four is tonight. South Carolina is playing Connecticut, I believe. And then after that, Iowa plays... Who's Iowa playing? Iowa's playing... South Carolina's playing NC State, I believe it is. And then UConn is playing Iowa. I think that's the way it is. Or it might be UConn is playing South Carolina and then NC State is playing Iowa. Something like that. I can't remember. But all I'm saying is the Gamecocks, I got them winning the whole thing for the ladies. Coach Dawn Staley is a beast. She was a beast as a player, and she's a beast as a coach. So I'm looking for them to win it all. It's been some phenomenal games. And the men's Final Four is tomorrow, I believe, and that's NC State again. NC State is actually in the Final Four, and UConn. So this is the first time that you had two teams that both their ladies and men's team are in the Final Four. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I know Purdue is one of the other. That's three. I can't remember who the other men's team is. That I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to the men's team because it's NC State, Purdue. Yeah, I can't. Who's the? It's one. It's a. That's the guy that plays for Purdue. I can't remember the other two teams. I'm sorry. I can't remember that. But those games come on this weekend. So if you're a basketball March Madness fanatic, you getting ready to go through withdrawal after this weekend because it's going to be over this weekend. I love college basketball. I love the camaraderie. I love the excitement. I love to see the underdogs, and I love to see the young people enjoying college life. And what that entails in that environment that they get to be a part of. So do that. Have some fun, whatever it is that you're gonna have fun. But go buy a snowball or some ice cream, something like that, and everything. So it's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder. We'll see you all on Monday. Have a super fantastic weekend. Peace.